What's going on, guys? My name's Rob, and welcome back to Above the Six Watch Reviews. All right, guys. Super excited today. We're back with another review. Today we're going to be reviewing my experience with the Addiesdive AD2548 Quartz GMT. So I've spent a couple of weeks with this watch, wearing it on a daily basis. And today we're going to walk through the pros as well as some of the cons with this watch. And we're going to figure out if this, entry level, low budget offering from Addiesdive kind of lives up to the reputation of just building awesome banger watches at really affordable prices. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into the review. Let's check these measurements out. So we have a case diameter of 38.2 millimeters. I will say, guys, this is a little bit tricky to measure with the crown guards, but it looks pretty much spot on to their specs. We have an overall case thickness of 12.2 millimeters. Lug to lug of 46.9 millimeters. Lug width of 19.5 millimeters or 20 mil. And we have a taper down on that lug width from 20 to 15.7 or 16 millimeters. All right, guys, so let's get into this dial, which is, by all accounts, one of the major selling points of this watch. So we can take a look at the actual dial itself. So as you can see, we've got, I guess, what they call a teal type of color. And it's got almost a meteorite type of finish to it. Very shiny, very sparkly as well. Great color. To me, this looks just pretty much like a summer type watch that you would wear. But we got great definition in terms of the actual texturing on the dial. Really good pop of color as well. Again, this is a dial style or texture that we're seeing a lot of right now. If we look at the dial as well, so we've got the Addiesdive logo printed at the top there in cursive. And then we've got GMT as well as the water resistance there. Let's take a look at these indices, which are applied indices as well. So they don't stand super tall, but you can definitely get a gauge of the depth that it brings. So I think really good job on Addiesdive for this type of low budget piece, having those applied indices. They're finished really well also. So we've got a little bit of polish there along the outer edge of the indices. We've also got a frame date window there. Very legible as well. So I find a lot of times with date windows, you guys can let me know in the comment section, they're always way too small. And I think this is a great example of how a date window should be. Easily legible. You don't have to squint or strain your eyes to see it. Then we've got our handset there. So again, very legible. Quality finishing on the handset also. The only thing I wish, the handset, especially the minute hand, it is a little bit short. So I think, again, that's a little bit of a personal preference thing, but for me, I'd love to see the handset extended slightly. I think it just makes it, again, a lot more legible and just a better overall look. And then lastly, we've got our GMT hand there as well. So here to me is one of the cons, guys. I would love to see that GMT hand in a different color. So we've got GMT written in kind of an orangey red there on the dial. I would have loved to have seen them mimic that color on the actual GMT hand itself. I think that really would have done the trick and made the dial look that much better. And again, you're getting a GMT watch for a reason, right? So from a functional standpoint, I think you really need it to be clear and to be legible. And then obviously surrounding the dial, we've got the outer bezel that's in stainless steel brushed, and we've got the 24-hour markings on there as well. So overall, from a dial standpoint, again, in this price range, I think they've absolutely knocked it out of the park with this. As always, guys, I appreciate all the support. If you like what we're doing here, we're definitely growing a community. So hit that like button, smash that subscribe button as well. It's greatly appreciated. Obviously, this channel can't exist without the support of the viewers. So again, greatly appreciated, and smash that subscribe button to join the Above the Six community. Moving on, we'll talk about the crystal, which I think is another strong suit for this watch. So we've actually got a sapphire crystal, guys, believe it or not, on a $110, $120 watch. The crystal is awesome. Super clear, not hazy. If you guys haven't check out my review of the San Martin SN0144. I talk about one of the cons on that watch being the crystal. Even though it's sapphire, it's definitely a little bit hazy. And I think Addiesdive has absolutely nailed it. They've got a decent amount of AR coating here as well. And I think overall, for the price, for what you're paying, I think that crystal is great. They've done a really good job. Moving on from the crystal, we'll talk a little bit about the case itself. So this is full 316L stainless steel, and it's primarily brushed in terms of the finishing on the case. And I think if you guys can take a look at on the inner lugs, that little bit of an angle that Addiesdive has achieved on it, I think just adds a great shape to the case of this watch. One of the really cool small features that they've included that I think really makes the case stand out and is really a highlight of this watch itself. We've got a pretty compact lug to lug, so we're looking at just under 47 millimeters. So the watch itself wears great. And then from a finishing standpoint, again, we've got primarily brushed finish. And listen, I'm not going to say it's unbelievable, but overall, for what you're paying, the finishing is pretty good quality. There you can see on the side profile. Hopefully you guys can take a look at that finishing. Again, it could be a little bit finer, but overall for what you're paying, I think you're getting tremendous value. And again, shape of the case is great, wears extremely well, and I think overall really fits the aesthetic of the watch itself. From the case, we're going to move on to the crown. So I guess as you can see, guys, one of the very unique or standout features of this watch is the actual crown guards. So funny enough, I've had other Addiesdives in the past where the crown guards have actually protruded even further than this. So I think they've done a really good job of kind of minimizing the impact of the crown guards without diminishing their effectiveness. So as you can see, they come up about halfway, if not maybe a slight bit more than halfway up the width of the crown. But they do a good job protecting it. Still very easy to utilize this crown. It is a sign crown as well, guys. So as you can see, we've got the Addiesdive logo there. And then we have a reasonable amount of grip also. So as you can see, we have a knurled edge to the crown, which allows it to be very grippy, very tactile to use. And again, even though in the beginning it was there was a little bit of grit to the crown, after about little less than a day or so of utilizing it, very smooth. It catches the tread very quickly, and the crown is just really a pleasure to use. I think Addiesdive has absolutely nailed the crown on this watch. On the movement side, so we're rocking with the Swiss Ronda 515 24H movement. So it is a quartz movement, guys. So obviously it's going to be extremely accurate. Overall, I haven't had any issues in terms of timing. I know it's only been a couple weeks, but to me, it's a fairly, I'd say, smoothish movement. You definitely notice that tick. But it keeps accurate time. It's great for a grab and go. You don't have to worry about setting it or winding it. And overall, I think for an everyday carry, especially for someone who's a little more outdoorsy, a little more casual, I think this type of movement works great. And you know what? It keeps the price down. And I'm going to tell you, I have no problem with them keeping the price down on a watch like this. So I'm in there for the Ronda 515. I think it's a really good movement that they've selected for this watch. Moving on, we'll take a look at the bracelet. So as you guys saw in the measurement, so the bracelet starts at 20 mil from a lug width standpoint and tapers down all the way to that 16 or just under 16 mil. So I'll give Addiesdive credit in terms of having that taper. Listen, guys, this is the same old from Addiesdive. This is the bracelet that you see on what, 7, 8 out of 10 of their watches. I know I've seen them recently. They've got a Jubilee bracelet that's out there, but I don't know if you guys are with me. Maybe share in the comments, but I'm begging Addiesdive to come up with, a little bit of diversity in terms of their bracelet options. We need to see something different. This is almost like, when I see the bracelets on the Addiesdive and they're all the same, it just looks like you're picking a bracelet that you have in stock and you don't even really care if it fits the overall design of the watch. In this case, they're lucky it does, but I mean, Addiesdive, come on, let's get a little bit more creative. Let's care. Let's try and put some effort into the actual bracelets themselves. I think because they use this bracelet on almost every watch, I think we can take a look at the finishing. The finishing has improved with Addiesdive. So they've gotten a lot better from a brushing and a finishing perspective. Again, it's not as fine as you'll see with some of the other brands, and you're definitely not at Chronos or San Martin level, right? As you can see, we've got a little bit of polish on the sides of the links. Push pins as per usual, which at this price point is what we're gonna get, guys. So I don't think we can be too picky. But overall, brushing, finishing is decent. The only thing I really ask Addiesdive is, come on, guys, let's get a little bit more creative when it comes to the bracelets. And let's get a couple of different variations and make sure that they actually match the aesthetic of the overall watch. From there, we'll get right into the clasp. So this is where I had a bit of an issue. So when I originally bought or received the watch, guys, from a store that shall remain nameless on AliExpress, I put the watch on, I tried it, and the clasp would not stay closed. It would close for about a second or two. If you had any movement, it would absolutely just snap open. So I reached out to the manufacturer, or the store, the retailer, and they said, "Yep, can you send me a video?" I sent them a video. They said, "Yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll send you a replacement clasp. All you have to do is pay $1. I think it was $1.50 Canadian to be able to get it sent out to me." So again, not a huge deal, guys. But listen, if I'm buying a product and there's a defect in that product, if I'm a retailer, there's no way I should be asking a customer to pay anything additional out of pocket for a defect that was completely on the manufacturer's end. So again, rubbed me the wrong way, kind of left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth dealing with this retailer. So again, I'm not here to crush anyone. I'm not gonna mention the retailer's name, but you know what, just be careful, guys. And I think, listen, they had a good rating, but sometimes you'll just get a little bit of a bad experience. And I think whether you're on AliExpress or anywhere else, I think that just, if you buy enough, it's going to happen. Outside of that, I think the clasp is, you know, your standard Addiesdive clasp. We've got the logo printed on there. It's printed in a good fashion. It's fairly smooth, no sharp edges to the clasp itself, which again is a nice improvement from what Addiesdive used to be like. We've got a little bit of polish on the side or the chamfer of the clasp. There, you guys can see that. We've got our two pushers here, and we've got five micro adjustment holes there as well, which makes it very easy to find a great fit. So obviously we're not expecting on the fly adjustment systems at this price. Milled clasp, again, very smooth, well machined, and it works great now that we got that fixed up. So overall, again, outside of the experience with the retailer, I think, listen, we know what we're getting with Addiesdive when it comes to their bracelets, and we know what we're getting with them when it comes to their clasp as well. So as always, guys, there will be an affiliate link posted in the description of this video for this watch. If you're vibing with it, if you're looking for a GMT, or if you're looking for an everyday carry to add to your collection, definitely take a look at that link. You know, I've looked around, shopped around to try and find the best price currently available, but take a look and feel free to click that link, and happy hunting. Let's talk about price and value before we get into my overall thoughts and conclusion and rating. So this watch ranges anywhere. I've seen it from about 105 Canadian right up to, I've seen it all the way up to about 125, $130 Canadian. So when we talk about value, guys, obviously price is going to be a huge determining factor in that. For that price, and I don't care whether you get it closer to $100 or even if you get it at the high end at 125, 130, I think value-wise, this is a watch that's very hard to beat. If we look at it, you're getting an unbelievable dial with great texture. You have applied indices. You have a GMT function, albeit in a quartz. You're getting reasonably good finishing, especially when you're considering that we're on the lower end of a budget watch or an entry-level watch. You're getting sapphire crystal, and you're getting all of that for under $130 Canadian. I don't think it's easy to look at that and say, you know what? This watch from Addiesdive is absolute great value. And with that being said, let's hop into the rating and see what type of score above the 6 gives this watch. So taking everything into account, all the pros, you know, a few of the cons, and I'm not going to hammer them when it comes to obviously the issue with the retailer. But overall, if I look at this watch, guys, this is a 7.3 out of 10 all day, every day. So again, we're not talking mid-level. We're not talking, you know, high-end type of watchmaking. So it's never, a watch in this budget is never going to score in the 9s. But if you look at everything that they're offering, guys, for that money, the complication, the good level of finishing that you're getting, the wearability, I think you can't beat it. And I think it'd be hard pressed to find another watch that's out there right now where you're getting this type of value at that price. So you know what? Addiesdive, good on you. I think you've absolutely hit another banger of a watch. So overall, would I recommend this watch? Absolutely. This is 100% no-brainer. Like I said, if you guys are going out and you're looking for an everyday carry, or if you're looking for a GMT function and you don't really want to break the bank and spend 1,000 Canadian like some of these micro brands are charging, take a look at the link in the description. Look at this watch. If you're okay with it being a quartz, I know a lot of people are hung up on manuals and automatics. Completely understand that. But if you're cool with it being a quartz, 100%, I would absolutely recommend you go out and you purchase this watch. An absolute another banger from Addiesdive. And guys, to me, Addiesdive is really owning that entry level, affordable type of watch. Whether it's a diver, whether it's a GMT, whether it's, you know, an Explorer style or a Gata, they're killing it right now. So great job to Addiesdive. As always, guys, I appreciate you tuning in and viewing and hanging with me on another review. Stay tuned. We've got plenty more unboxings coming up. We got a bunch of list videos on the way, and obviously a bunch more reviews. So again, appreciate all the support, and we'll see you on the next video. And until then, guys, take care.